Long ago, in a sunny kingdom full of music and flowers, a kind king and queen wanted nothing more than a baby. For years they waited and hoped. Then one bright morning, their dream came true. A little princess was born with soft pink cheeks and sparkling blue eyes. They named her Aurora. To celebrate, the king planned a huge party. One fairy, named Malice, was accidentally left off the list. The great hall was decorated. More fairies gave gifts of laughter, courage, and curiosity. Just as the 11th fairy raised her wand, her eyes flashed with anger. "So, I wasn't good enough? Fall down, dead." Gasps filled the hall. The queen hugged the baby tight, but there was still one fairy. She stepped forward calmly. Everyone froze, vanished in a puff of green smoke. Little Lilac, the 12th fairy, her silver wings sparkled. "I cannot break Malice's curse completely," kisses her awake. The king and queen felt, until no will was left. Years flew by. She had no idea about the curse. On the morning of her 16th birthday, she thanked everyone for coming. While the party went on, "I've never seen these steps before," she whispered excitedly. Up and up she climbed. At the very top of a forgotten tower, Aurora pushed the creaky door. Inside the dusty room sat an old woman with gray hair, rocking by a strange wooden wheel that went whir whir whir. A sharp needle glinted on it. "Good afternoon, pretty maiden," the old woman said with a sneaky smile. It was really Malice in disguise. "Have you ever tried spinning? Come see how the thread dances."
Have you ever tried spinning? Come see how the thread dances.
It's beautiful,
she said, stepping closer.
Of course,
dear, the old woman crooned, handing her the spindle. The second Aurora's finger brushed the sharp point out, a tiny drop of blood appeared. Her eyes closed, and she sank to the floor in a deep, deep sleep. At that very moment, the curse raced through the whole castle like an invisible wind. Even the little dogs and kittens curled up and snored. Pretty pink clouds of sleepy dust floated everywhere. Outside, huge thorny vines shot up around the castle, twisty, tall, and sharp, hiding it completely. The castle was forgotten, lost in time and roses. What happens to a kingdom when everyone sleeps for 100 years? Seasons changed. Springs came and went. Babies grew up and had babies of their own. The sleeping castle stayed hidden behind its wall of thorns. People started calling it the Lost Palace. Old grandmas told stories at bedtime.
Deep in the forest sleeps a beautiful princess.
Most kids thought it was just a fairy tale. Many brave princes heard the story, sent them running home with torn clothes and hurt feelings. Exactly 100 years passed. The thorns were taller and thicker than ever. Far away, a young prince named Philip was visiting his grandmother. She told him the old legend one cozy evening by the fire. Something about the story made Philip's heart skip. "I believe she's real," he said, "and I'm going to find her." Early the next morning he put on strong boots, took his sharpest sword, and rode toward the dark forest alone. Will the thorns let Philip through, or send him away like the others? Prince Philip rode for days until he saw the giant wall of thorns glowing in the sunset. He tied his horse to a tree and walked forward slowly. It looked impossibly black, branches twisted together like angry snakes. "Here goes nothing," he whispered, raising his sword. But the strangest thing happened. A path of soft green grass appeared, leading straight to the castle. "Thank you," he said to the thorns, until he reached huge wooden doors covered in dust and spiderwebs. He pushed them open a creak, and stepped inside. Everything was perfectly still. A little cat was curled up on a cushion, snoring softly. Philip tiptoed through hallways filled with roses until he found a tall tower staircase. Up, up, up he climbed the same stairs Aurora had used long ago. At the top was a small open door and soft golden light. What does Philip see in that tiny tower room? There, on a little bed covered in velvet and roses, lay Princess Aurora. She was breathing softly, lost in the sweetest dream. Philip's heart felt like it might jump right out of his chest. He had never believed in love at first sight, until now. He knelt beside her bed, gently took her hand, and kissed tight as soft as a butterfly. Nothing happened for one quiet second. Then Aurora's fingers moved. Her eyes fluttered open, bright and blue as the morning sky. She smiled the biggest smile. "You found me," she whispered. "I think you were waiting for me."
You found me.
I think you were waiting for me.
Philip answered, grinning. All through the castle, the spell began to melt away like morning mist. Goodness, did I fall asleep at the party? Cooks stirred pots. Birds outside burst into song. The whole kingdom woke up cheering and laughing. Aurora and Philip walked hand in hand down the tower steps. Everyone gathered in the courtyard, hugging and celebrating. The thorns outside turned into beautiful climbing roses that smelled like summer. What happens when a princess wakes up in a whole new century? The king and queen ran to hug their daughter. At first they were shocked she was all grown up, but then they saw how happy she was with Philip. The cooks made the biggest breakfast ever, a pancakes taller than your head, fresh strawberries, and hot chocolate with mountains of whipped cream. Aurora learned about cars and airplanes and movie theaters. Philip promised to show her the whole wide world. But first, the kingdom threw the most joyful party anyone had ever seen, a bigger than the birthday party that started it all. Soon the big day came, Aurora and Philip's wedding. Aurora wore a dress that sparkled like starlight. Philip looked handsome in blue and gold. All the good fairies came. Yes, even Malice was invited this time, and she came wearing pink and smiling as she was sorry and wanted to be friends now. The bells rang across the hills. Children threw flower petals. The birds sang the happiest songs.
The bells rang across the hills. Children threw flower petals.
And right in the middle of the party, the musicians started a beautiful new love song just for them. From 100 years of nighttime.
From 100 years of nighttime.
You opened up your eyes. I crossed the world to find you, through shadows and goodbyes. Now morning light is dancing. The sleeping world is new, and every beat my heart makes is singing loud.
I crossed the world to find you, through shadows and goodbye.
One small kiss, the story turned winter into spring, so let the whole world hear it. Love changes everything. We were written in the starlight, in dreams that dared to stay. 100 years of waiting just led us to today. Now hand in hand forever, our brand new tale begins, and the greatest happy ending is where true love wins. The bells are gonna ring, ring, ring. Let heavens smile and sing. Our once upon a time is here today. Everyone clapped and cheered. Aurora and Philip danced under strings of twinkling lights while fireflies swirled around them like extra magic. But the party was so big, they needed one more song. I waited through the silence, through seasons and through storms, for one sweet whispered moment when old curses lose their forms. Now here you stand before me, a dream that learned to wake you, the promise we were born for, the choice we both now make. The stars wrote down our story across a sleeping sky. But morning came and found you as you opened up your eyes. 100 years to one kiss, from darkness into this. So let the bells keep ringing, let every garden grow, let every old, sad story find a brighter place to go. The spell is gone forever, the night has turned to sun, and the tale of two hearts beating has only just begun. Now the bells can ring, ring, ring. Let the blue sky unfold its wings. Our fairy tale is real life now, and love will always win somehow. The whole kingdom sang along. Even the little kids knew the words by the end. Aurora and Philip kissed again while rose petals rained gently from the sky. And after the party, the great celebration lasted for days. Travelers came from faraway lands, no more thorns, only flowers. Aurora and Philip traveled the world together. She saw oceans and mountains, movie nights under the stars. And every place they went, they brought kindness and laughter. The 12 good fairies visited often. Malice, the 13th fairy, turned out to be pretty nice. She even taught everyone how to grow the prettiest roses. Years later, when Aurora and Philip had children of their own, they tucked them into bed with the same story. Once upon a time, a princess fell asleep, always finds its way home. And on quiet nights, if you walk past the old castle gardens, you can still hear soft music on the wind and see fireflies dancing. Just a little reminder that magic is real, love is stronger than any curse, and every single one of us can live happily ever after.